We'll be sure to keep our eye on that.
Yeah, a bit of a surprising scoreline to start. Certainly Ignatowicz and Avern are going to be a tricky team in the draw. Seem to be firing on all cylinders here in game one.
So a point for Smith and Patriquin to get started.
1-0-2. Side out.
Yeah, and that's going to be the tough one. I like the initial drive at Newman, but the closer you get to the kitchen line, it seems like his reflexes just get faster and faster, and that ball gets on you so quick. So it's important to have the discipline after the first drive. If you don't feel like you have got a good offensive swing on the second one, slow it back down, get into a kitchen game, and find another speed up from there.
11-1 on the grandstand. Dylan Frazier and J.W. Johnson dropping game one. Patriquin just sends that wide of the court.
1-1-2.
Took just enough pace off. Patriquin had his forehand ready.
Yeah, he was on that. And I think the other tactic that Pat Smith and Hayden Patriquin can use at the kitchen line is using that middle dink. I think that both Matt Wright's backhand and Riley Newman's forehand, if you can get that ball to bounce, they're not as comfortable being offensive there. So look for them to work that middle dink from time to time here.
Side out.
Not a middle dink, but a middle speed up from Pat Smith.
1-2-1.
So much of the dink strategy is just about creating space as well for speed ups.
Yeah, it's a balance of, well, moving the ball around to create offensive openings, but also keeping that ball in locations where your opponents can't hurt you. So it's a fine line between the two.
A head nod.
Yeah, Patriquin may not be a big guy, but he's got some fast twitch muscles, very lively arm, and some excellent hands up at the net.
Side out.
Side out now for Wright and Newman.
2-2-1.
Not a whole lot of room in terms of error rate on those middle dinks. Trying to keep those just shallow enough.
Second serve.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that not every one of those dinks to the middle needs to be super penetrating or aggressive. Sometimes you can just lift it and almost dare your opponents to go at you if that's not their preferred side to speed up on.
Almost like a bait ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny, a year ago, I brought up the conversation of bait ball, and people are like, nah, I don't know if that's really a thing. And I'm like, it absolutely is now a thing.
Yeah, it's certainly becoming more and more of a standard strategy in certain matches, absolutely.
Side out.
And that's what these players ask themselves, you know, when they're going into a particular matchup is, would we be better served waiting for them to make the first move, or do we need to make the first move? And then they kind of devise their more detailed strategy within that.
It's one of the first questions they must ask themselves.
Second serve.
Pat trying to slide to find the forehand.
Yeah, and for my money, his technique was correct. He dropped the head of his paddle, but given that ball was barely above or around the height of the net, you can't hit that one too hard.
Patriquin finds just the inside of the line. Look at where this lands.
3-4-2.
Yeah, had a little pep to his step after that one. He's working the swag here early.
Side out.
Matt Wright with some phenomenal hands. The counter.
Yeah, I like the idea from Patriquin, maybe a little lower than the net, but that's within his skill set. But sliding out of the way really enabled Matt Wright to get on top of that volley.
Second serve. 4-3-2.
Hands! Just about everywhere you look.
Yeah, and I love what I'm seeing from Smith and Patriquin, really not being content with just dinking and letting their opponents come up, staying aggressive and keeping their advantage as long as they can.
Second serve.
And that's the side, that two-handed backhand is where Riley Newman is much more comfortable speeding up balls off the bounce. Nice job finding that right hip of Pat Smith there.
Riley Newman surely has a good crowd here. He lives just a few short miles away in Phoenix.
Side out.
Yeah, it's tough to see, but Riley Newman does a really good job of rolling that two-handed backhand, makes defending it just that much more challenging and problematic.
Matt Wright takes a quick shot. Pat Smith goes hand to the shoulder of Patriquin. I like that.
5-3-1. Second serve.
I'm really enjoying this Patriquin versus Wright battle right now.
Yeah, Wright read that well, tried to cut off the angle, but just unable to convert there.
I think before you can win, you got to believe you can. And right now, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Hayden Patriquin.
Yeah,
He's going at Matt Wright.
I like the body language. You're absolutely right. It looks like they're here ready to compete. They appear confident and should be a fun one.
Second serve.
Ooh, that's just too pretty from Riley Newman.
And Pat Smith has a big old smile on his face. Knows he was very fooled on that one.
3-5-2. Side out.
And that one goes the direction of Matt Wright. I think they're just keeping an internal scoreboard between those two anyways.
Yeah, I think a lot of these players know who gets the better of the other one in particular types of exchanges. Absolutely.
Point.
That is just a mean backhand from Riley Newman.
Yeah, tough for Pat Smith to catch up with that one. That thing got on him in a hurry.
6-3-1.
6-3 first serve.
Point.
I think that was some friendly fire.
I think that hit his partner, Patriquin, there.
Maybe not the location when you're trying to unwind the stack.
Yeah, you don't see that happen too often. A little unlucky for them.
I've never seen one quite like that. 7-3 for the number 2 seed. Waited for his opportunity. The counter punch goes the direction of Hayden Patriquin.
Yeah, Matt Wright trying to put this out of the reach of Patriquin, but he does a good job of using two hands to stay a little bit stronger in that upper quadrant.
Nice adjustment there from Pat Smith.
Side out.
They got real lucky there.
Yeah, each of them was thinking you, and they got
Three,
very
7-1.
fortunate that the lob didn't catch the court.
Leave landed a little luck. Just add an extra one.
Second
Continuing to pepper that forehand.
Yeah, and once Riley Newman sinks his teeth into a forehand in the middle, it's very tough to bring the point back to neutral.
3-7-2.
Great dig by Pat Smith.
Point.
I'm guessing off of Riley Newman's body language right there, that ball landed just within the court.
And Pat Smith had been beaten 2 different times to his forehand side,
4-7-2.
trying to slide to the middle to find a forehand. I think he's going to be better off what he did there, sliding to the backhand side, covering everything with that abbreviated backhand punch.
Point.
Similar to what Matt Wright tried to do right there on the attack.
5-7-2.
Speed up from Hayden Patriquin. That one just a bit lower than one of the first we saw.
Side out. Seven, 5-1.
Again, Patriquin taking a shot. He's showing both sides, the offense and the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And Matt Wright's one of the most gifted attackers that we have in the game. He's tried a few different
7-5-2.
spots on Patriquin, and he's been up to the task at every location so far.
And then finds the other side. Pulls one cross court.
Yeah, beautiful job rotating his core and finding the open spot on the court back behind Newman.
Matt Wright's gonna take it. Got chicken winged, but it landed.
Yeah, almost a sarcastic yeah from Matt Wright. Acting like he meant to do that one.
Oh, I love it.
Side out.
So a hold for Wright and Newman with a 2-point advantage.
7-5-1. Point.
Make it 8-5.
Yeah, it's the risk a little bit when you are in that stack formation, knowing you have to unwind it, you know you have to cover more territory. Appeared to just be hitting that ball on the move a little bit.
Second serve.
That's one of the most frustrating things. You hit the top of the net and it does not give you a favorable bounce.
Yeah, and it was definitely going to be a winner from Newman had it not touched the net. A little unlucky for him that that ball
8-5-2.
slid wide.
Point.
Patriquin fought off the lob, but too much aggression and court position for Wright and Newman here.
And Pat Smith a little frustrated, trying to take a bite out of his paddle there.
9-5-2.
I wouldn't suggest that.
Might not be my flavor.
Another defensive lob sent up.
Point.
Matt calling that ball wide.
And I really like the play by Matt Wright, just throwing that up in the air, knowing how tough it is to finish an overhead off. It just can sometimes be problematic for your opponents.
So quickly, 11-5, closing out game number 1, but still promising things on the other side for Smith and Patriquin, who showed plenty of ability in terms of their counter punches, but Matt and Riley proven a little too much in the first. It's potentially could go to a third. 9-6, Dylan Frazier and J.W. Johnson with the advantage in game 2 after dropping game 1. However, championship court, we're only at the second game here in quarterfinal action. Matt Wright and Riley Newman picking up the first.
Yeah, beautiful drop by Matt Wright there. And when he places it that well, it
1-0-2.
allows Newman to freely disconnect and set himself up for the poach there.
Point.
Here's a look to the grandstand as well. Ignatowicz and Avern
2-0-2.
on the near side of your screen.
Side out.
Riley, one of the best at picking those up in the transition zone. Just barely missing.
0-2-1. Second serve.
Yeah, just too high on the drop attempt there from Patriquin. I think they still need to be aggressive here if they want a chance to push Newman and Wright. I would like to see if their feet are set, go into a little bit more of a drive tactic.
Side out.
I think that's just about the second dink we've seen, or missed dink from Hayden Patriquin. He's done a really solid job in a lot of those exchanges to this point.
Yeah, I think it's going to be important for them to work the middle dink a little bit more.
Yeah.
Both Newman and Wright are so capable of attacking when you start dinking to the corners on each of their sides there.
You think of their matchups versus the Johns brothers and how often that middle dink has been utilized against Matt and Riley, and against so many others. It's a nice neutralizing dink.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It can be, I think it's an underused play, you know, in a variety of matchups, but specifically with Newman and Wright having their strengths on the corners, it should be used more in this particular one, in my opinion.
Side out.
Riley and Pat are just talking right now.
0-3.
I love all the personalities on the Carvana PPA Tour. Keep it interesting. Kitchen line, from speed ups to resets and neutralizing dinks across the board.
Yeah, great point by all four players, really showcasing the elite hand speed that all four of them possess.
Second serve.
Riley Newman just has so much ability to kind of pause and hang on some of those backhands, and just shots in general. Seems like he's just getting a little bit more torque on some of those. Like he's uncoiling.
Yeah, in my opinion, he's just an absolute master of, once he gains the advantage in a point, of keeping that advantage while at the same time minimizing his own risk. He calibrates that as good as anybody in the world.
It's a good description.
Second serve.
Nice job by Patriquin finding the feet of Newman.
3-1-2. Side out.
Patriquin sounds like he's got a little bit of the stands on his side.
Yeah, no, definitely a fan favorite, still a teenager, and can show that he can play with the big boys, absolutely.
Score still remains 9-6 on the grandstand, as you've been watching that on the right side of your screen. Lot of acreage for Matt Wright to work with.
Yeah, it looked like Smith was trying to go more middle with that dink, but Wright slid over, still found the forehand, and found the attack up the line.
I believe a timeout on the grandstand right now, so 9-6 there. The score will remain as it has for the last several minutes.
Yeah, they've been in a bit of a stalemate out there.
Point.
I'd like to see a timeout here from Smith and Patrick, and it just feels like the momentum has really shifted away from them. I think this would be a good time to just regroup.
Second serve.
I think Matt and Riley are still trying to find a little bit of their
4-1-2.
approach strategy, or maybe not strategy, execution. Riley works with the drop.
Point.
Matt Wright quick to close.
Yeah, and Patriquin was getting the better of Wright in some of those fast exchanges in game one, but it seems like
5-1-2.
Wright's going a little bit more in the body and having a little bit of success with that here in game two.
Pat Smith.
We talked about Smith maybe sliding into the backhand would be the better look for him.
1-5-1.
Great job timing this particular counter.
Second serve.
That ball put away quickly by Riley Newman.
1-5-2. Side out.
Yeah, I like the play by Pat Smith driving the forehand. The problem is when that volley comes back to the forehand, sometimes there's just so much motion going on between the swings that you're just a little bit late for the second one.
5-1-1. Second serve.
Outstretched for Matt Wright.
Yeah, nice location there by Patriquin. Wasn't able to have Matt Wright get his
5-1-2.
feet under him for that counter.
Another fantastic counter for a winner from Pat Smith.
Yeah, it really seems to be the better strategy for him to play more of the
1-5-1.
backhand side in those fast exchanges. Definitely has the motion and the strength to be effective with
Second
that
serve.
shot.
One, 5-2. Point.
2-5.
2-5-2. Point.
From below the height of the net, Patriquin.
Yeah, recognizing that Newman was going to be unwinding the stack and might be still moving for that volley. Great job of driving and then
3-5-2.
closing in and keeping the pressure on for the second one as well.
Just out of reach, but look how fast Riley Newman is. And then dropping it short is Patriquin.
Newman had the hang time on that one, but he was just waiting for himself to land to be able to sprint back and get to that next ball.
That's the problem when your vertical's too high.
Hashtag athletic people problems right there.
Yes, you are.
It's not the easiest person to lob either.
No, kind of an obscure
4-1-2.
point there.
Slide out. By 4-1.
Wow. Riley Newman quick to get out of the way.
Yeah, almost had his head taken off by that one, but good job ducking and earning the point there.
6-4-1. Point.
Patriquin trying to find the little space available.
7-4-1.
7-4.
Point.
Right now, Riley and Matt are finding just about every spot that they need, recognizing even the motion. of Pat Smith.
Yeah, they pick up on these little tendencies right away, and they're going to calibrate and change the location of their speed ups accordingly.
Point.
Matt Wright, hop in the corner.
Yeah, hasn't done that yet this match. Great time for it. Really savvy veteran play there by Wright.
9-4-1. Second serve.
He's trying to catch Pat, still on the move, covering middle.
9-4-2.
9-4-2.
Point.
Yeah, Smith had a good look at it, but again, just the tempo and the closing ability by Newman just
10-4-2.
rushed Smith enough to earn that error there.
Point and game.
Match goes the direction of the number 2 seed, Matt Wright and Riley Newman.
Yeah, Smith and Patriquin did everything they could to try to play their best game within themselves, but ultimately a very sharp Matt Wright and Riley Newman were just too much for them today.
So they have moved on to a semifinal here for men's pro doubles. They're on the same side of the bracket as a few names: Frazier, Johnson, Ignatowicz, Affern, DeVilliers, Young, and Deacon Redmeyer. Who will they face? We've got some more to come on the Carvana Arizona Grand Slam.